Rangers closing in on a Dutch colossus, once dubbed the next Van Dijk, while injury red flags could collapse a £10 million move for a Premier League winger. Ridvan Yilmaz gives the green light to walk away from Ibrox as Max Aarons steals his shirt. Jackson reacts to Rangers transfer saga for Lennon Miller as offer expected. These are our top viewers of the week with the most comments. Thank you all, you're amazing. Rangers are pushing full steam ahead in this summer's rebuild, and it looks like Russell Martin's not lifting his foot off the gas anytime soon. After a flurry of new signings already through the gates of Ibrox, including Joe Rothwell, Emmanuel Fernandes, and Thalo Asgard, it now seems the next arrival could be the most exciting yet. The name on everyone's lips: Xavier Mbuyamba, a towering 23-year-old centre-back who's been through the academies of Barcelona and Chelsea, a player tipped for big things and now potentially available for a modest fee, with Dutch side Volendam reportedly asking for just £435,000 after he refused to renew his deal. It's the sort of deal that could be an absolute steal if Rangers can pull it off. And make no mistake, this isn't just a young lad with potential. He's been compared to Virgil van Dijk, a big Dutch presence, strong in the air, calm with the ball at his feet, and able to slot in through the middle or out wide on the right. That kind of flexibility is gold dust for a side looking to dominate both in Scotland and on the European stage. But let's be honest, it's not just about who's coming in, it's also about who's heading for the door. If Mbuyamba signs, it could spell the end for Robin Proper. The Dutchman, who came in last summer, has looked well off the pace and failed to cement a spot under either Philippe Clement or Barry Ferguson. His stats last season weren't exactly disastrous, 27 matches over 2,000 minutes played, but they certainly weren't enough to secure Martin's trust. With Nasser, Giga and Fernandes already added in that position, and now Mbuyamba potentially coming in, Proper might find himself third or even fourth choice. Add to that the whispers around John Souttar's possible move to Turkey, and suddenly the back line is in full transition mode. The transfer isn't a done deal yet. Clubs in England, Belgium, Italy, Poland and Turkey are also sniffing about, but Rangers seem to be in a strong position to land him, and let's not forget Celtic had been linked with him too. So what a statement it would be to bring the Dutchman to Ibrox instead. If Mbuyamba turns out to be the real deal and Celtic miss out on him, is that yet another example of them getting outworked and outthought in the transfer market by a hungrier Rangers? Ridvan Yilmaz looks set to wave farewell to Ibrox, and truth be told, it's probably best for everyone involved. After arriving with big expectations back in 2022, costing Rangers a tidy £5 million, Yilmaz just hasn't managed to lock down that left-back spot. A combination of untimely injuries and underwhelming form has left his Rangers career drifting, never quite living up to the early flashes of promise. Now, with Max Aarons already nicking his number 3 shirt and Jeff Day still very much in the mix, the writing's on the wall. Reports from Turkey claim Yilmaz has told Besiktas he's keen to return as long as a deal with Rangers is sorted. A loan bid has already landed on the Ibrox table. But let's be honest, what use is a loan to us? Yilmaz is under contract until 2027. This is a player with pedigree, still just 24, and someone we paid good money for. Letting him leave temporarily does absolutely nothing for the 49ers enterprises, who are trying to build a war chest for Martin's revolution. If Yilmaz isn't part of the long-term vision, and judging by Aaron's arrival, he clearly isn't, then shift him out permanently, bank the cash, and move on. The biggest frustration here, it never really got going for him. You saw glimpses of what he could bring, but just as he started to find rhythm, something always knocked him back. And now, after 3 years of inconsistency, it's clear he's not in Martin's blueprint. If Yilmaz had played for Celtic with the same injury problems and inconsistencies, Would their support still be making excuses and calling him a project? Or are we at Ibrox simply less patient because we expect real quality from the start? It looks like the Lennon Miller transfer circus is in full swing, and Rangers might have just been priced out of the tent. At only 18 years old, Miller's been tearing it up with Motherwell, putting in a near ever-present shift last season, 39 appearances, 4 goals, 6 assists, and over 3,000 minutes under his belt. Not bad for a teenager in a team scrapping in the bottom half, but while Celtic and Rangers both had eyes on the lad, it now seems like continental suitors are muscling in. Reports suggest clubs from Italy and Germany are circling, and Motherwell's price tag is, unsurprisingly, sky high. According to Keith Jackson, that ship may already have sailed. He reckons the demands are too rich for Rangers' blood, and it's hard to argue when you consider the current priorities. Russell Martin's already been promised funds, but with centre forwards disappearing left and right, Hamza Igamane being courted by Lille and AEK Athens sniffing around Cyril Désert, it's obvious where the real spending needs to happen. Attack, attack, attack. We've just brought in Rothwell. Diamand's been tied down. Raskin's going nowhere. So why splash millions on another midfielder when what we desperately need is someone who can put the ball in the net in Europe and beyond? And let's be honest, how many times have we seen this story before? A young Scottish player gets hyped, the price balloons, and then suddenly Celtic are throwing cash around like confetti to claim him as their next McGregor. Meanwhile, we focus on signing actual winners who can perform on big European nights, not just look good in highlight reels. If Lennon Miller ends up at Celtic, overhyped and overpriced, would you be raging Rangers didn't go all in? Or would it just prove once again that they're obsessed with shiny toys while we're building a squad to win? Rangers are sniffing around Crystal Palace winger Juran Rak-Sakyi, but is this one worth the risk? The 22-year-old showed flashes of brilliance on loan at Sheffield United last season, racking up 7 goals in 36 appearances. And when you look at his time at Charlton, 15 goals and 9 assists in 49 games, you can see there's definitely talent in there. But here's the problem. Talent alone doesn't win you matches when your hamstring's in bits. Injury expert Dr. Rajpal Bras thrown up the red flags, warning that Rak-Sakyi's recurring hamstring issues could be a ticking time bomb. And for a player who relies on pace and quick bursts down the flank, that's not just a concern, it's a full-blown siren blaring in the background. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. £10 million. That's what Palace reportedly want. 10 million for a winger who's barely kicked a ball in the Premier League and might be one sprint away from the treatment table. In what world does that make sense when Russell Martin's squad is crying out for a proper goal machine? We've got the Champions League qualifiers looming, a domestic campaign to wrestle back from that lot across the city, and forwards like Cyril Désert and Hamza Igamane possibly heading out the door. This is not the time to gamble on a fragile winger with potential. It's the time to bring in killers in front of goal. Yes, Rak-Sakyi might become something special, but Ibrox isn't a rehab center. It's a place for winners, warriors, match winners who can stay on the pitch for more than 3 weeks at a time. If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.